Hey guys, Jenna here. Welcome to my channel where I take you on tours of unique homes and showcase people living alternatively. In today's video, we're checking out one couple's fifth wheel camper remodel, and it's also their full-time home. While the outside of this camper seems completely standard, once you head inside, you'll see that it's been completely gutted into a modern and gorgeous tiny home. Owners Hannah and Chris live full-time as nomads and chose this lifestyle to improve their mental health and for the flexibility to pursue artistic careers. If you like these kind of videos, make sure that you subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you know every time I publish a new video. But right now, let's take a tour of this amazing fifth wheel camper remodel.
Will you join me? Will you roll? Make this house our tiny home.
Hi, I'm Chris.
And I'm Hannah, and we're here in the Arizona desert, and we're excited to show you our tiny home, Maggie. I just started seeing this lifestyle pop up more and more on Instagram. The romantic picture of the people with their van doors open, looking out over these vast, beautiful landscapes, and I was like, I want that.
Yeah.
I brought it up to him about 5 years ago, and I said, let's sell everything and move into a camper and go travel and hike and see everything there is to see. And he told me I was crazy and that there was no way he would ever leave his business.
I've done construction most of my life, 10 years basically building that business. For a while it was everything that I wanted to be doing, but at the same time I wasn't taking care of myself in the other aspects of my life. My health started to slip and I started struggling with depression, which I always had, but it would really kind of crept up and really started to take control of my life. I had a breaking point where I just had to make changes. Seeing just people out there just making it happen, I was like, okay, well, what does it really take to do this? And once we started looking into it, it seemed doable.
We had a truck, so it made sense to have a tow behind vehicle. So we started looking at campers and trailers. We knew that we wanted something used because we were going to be tearing it all apart and doing a bunch of work and completely changing things.
Running a remodeling company, I was very comfortable with doing all of that work. We had all the tools and the resources we need. We kind of made a game plan of what we wanted to keep and what was going and gutted it and started from there.
We knew the light at the end of the tunnel was being able to live this lifestyle and travel and go hiking every day and just have the freedom to do whatever inspires us. So that was a huge motivation. We were so ready that we were like, let's just power through this and get it done and get out. And so that was kind of the driving force.
One of the big advantages of this RV was this slide out. An extra 3 feet along our whole living room makes the world of a difference. When you get in there, it feels wide, it feels big, it doesn't feel like you're in a trailer, it feels like you are in a living room, and that was really important to us. We wanted a tiny home on wheels that was going to feel very homey. We also have our mountain bikes with us. We got a bracket for mounting them to the bumper. We got a couple spare tires mounted on the back here. And then we also installed a cell signal booster so that way we can have signal wherever we are. It does a great job. We're up here on the roof now. I wanted to show you our solar up here. We've got 5 210 watt solar panels. That's a total of 1,050 watts. We have 3 of these access doors around the front of the camper here that gives us access to what we call our basement storage underneath our bedroom. Let's take a look. Here we've got our electrical system. I was able to reuse this space that was all dead space that had a bunch of haphazard wires run and a bunch of nonsense basically. We were able to get 4 100 amp hour lithium ion batteries in there. I have room to fit 2 more. We have a Victron Multi-Plus charger inverter, a Victron 150/70 solar controller, and Victron links that kind of fuses everything, connects everything together. For our water, we have 50 gallons of fresh water tank. We combine the black tank and the gray tanks. We now have 85 gallons of gray water storage by the shower and the bathroom area, and another 35 gallons in the rear for the kitchen. But to get more fresh water, we have a 60-gallon bladder, and we have this pump that I use, which is another one of our water pumps. So if our water pump ever goes, we can just replace it. But then I have these hoses hooked up that this goes to the bladder, and this goes in here to our tank, and we'll fill it up. Deciding factor for picking an RV was because we had a truck. It was a 2015 F350 gas. We were thinking that's what we were going to use, but the more we looked into it, once we found the perfect camper, it made more sense to get a diesel. We found this 2014 F350 diesel motor, which I'm very grateful that we did that. With this truck, we have plenty of towing capacity. With the gas, we were kind of right at the limit. So it just is much safer and better for longevity to have a little bit oversized truck and not have to worry about maxing it out all the time.
Welcome to our tiny home. It was really important to us when we did this to have a big open space. So with our slide open, we have about 12 feet of width in the camper, which is awesome. Having our creative spaces was super important for his music studio and my jewelry bench. And we were super excited when we found this camper because it has tons of windows and lots of natural light. I love that my studio window is huge and I can just look out over mountains or whatever landscape we're in. That was important to us, to allow lots of natural light to come in. One thing that was really important to us in the camper was to have a big open kitchen space. I love hosting people and having people over, and I like making a big mess while I'm cooking, so I love the big U shape. We didn't want to skimp out at all. We ended up going with a big open sink because we wanted it to feel super homey in here. We took this space, which was just kind of like empty dead space, and added a piece of wood in here to hold them in and created a little spice rack area so they're quick and accessible while I'm cooking. Another one of my favorite parts is the refrigerator. It took a lot of work and it caused a lot of turmoil between Chris and I, but it's worth it. We liked having a big art piece right in our kitchen, so that was cool that it worked out that way. Another feature that we love in the kitchen that we customized ourselves is this kind of cabinet area. So it was rounded, actually this whole area was kind of rounded and swoopy, and we really wanted to utilize this space better. So we rebuilt this cabinet door, and this is where we keep all of our kind of like tinctures and like our medicine cabinet, our homeopathic stuff. And then in here is all of our dry food storage that we have in this drawer. So we're able to utilize that space in that way.
A big part of this journey for me was having the time and consistency to put into my creative outlet of making music, and I've been picking away at it slowly and teaching myself music production. This space for me has been huge. I kind of boiled down my favorite parts of the little home studio I had into this space. One cool thing we did was, instead of permanently mounting this monitor here, I made it so that we can swivel it over, put the bed out, and have movie nights. We really wanted to have a nice big comfortable space for guests
because having our friends and family come out and visit us was really important. So we actually took out the sleeper sofa that was in here, and Chris custom built this. So we did it so that we have a lot more storage underneath the futon itself, and we made it so that the futon is on a sliding track, so when we have guests, we can just slide this out. Another feature that we really love is the beam that we used. It's barn board from a tobacco barn in our hometown in Hadley, Massachusetts. I took a bristle brush and hand brushed the whole thing to get the contrast and this kind of like patinaed look. It was very dark gray, which didn't really match with what we had. So I brushed it all to bring out the lighter color, and it matches the floors really good. So we really like how that looks. We can't forget Shelby and Cush's favorite feature of the camper. Chris custom built this for them. So this drawer slides out. Their bowls are right here. We just pull them out. And the scooper is here. This whole bottom container is filled with their food, which this lifts up so we can easily fill it. And then they enjoy their food there. So when we hit the road, it was really important for me to have my workspace, my jewelry studio with me. We were a little nervous that it wasn't gonna work out because this bench is very big and heavy, and we were a little over on our weight limit for the trailer, but we made it work. And I'm so grateful because obviously I can take my work with me wherever I go. I did have to cut back on some of the tools that I was able to bring with me, but I make it work and it just kind of forces me to be a little bit more creative. Another thing that we love about this camper is that it had tons of storage. A lot of the storage up here I use for my jewelry stuff, so I was able to organize it and put my chains up here. So a lot of that stuff is stored up in this area, kind of like my business paperwork and that kind of stuff too. This is our bathroom. We didn't change too much to the layout in here, but we did replace with a composting toilet. We decided to go with the separate composting toilet as opposed to Nature's Head and some of the other ones. We love it so far. The urine plumbs down into our gray tank, so we just dump it with our gray water and we never have to worry about pulling out or emptying one of those containers like with the Nature's Head ones. And then there's a fan in the back that's really quiet, and it basically just dehydrates the waste and we can just throw it out. It's in a composting bag, so we don't have to worry about cocoa husk or carrying a medium around with us to break down the compost, which is super convenient. This is our bedroom in our tiny home. It was really important to us in designing this to make it feel super cozy in here, kind of like our little nest. So we did that by pulling in some of our favorite artwork from home and little things around that kind of like capture our characteristics. The bed had storage underneath it, but we didn't think it was enough. It was pretty narrow. So we kind of rebuilt this whole area to incorporate even more storage, and we keep a backlog of shoes and hiking gear and kind of like some fun art stuff. We have a lot of food under here too because it's too heavy to keep in the front of the trailer and we need it over the tongue weight. That was a big modification that we did, but aside from that, we kind of kept it pretty much how it was. Storage in the RV was something that I was a little apprehensive about when I saw how small the space was, especially since we had a beautiful big walk-in closet at our last house. But when I kind of shifted my mindset and made it into a game of how much stuff I could fit in a tiny little space, it became a little bit more fun and less daunting. So I found a lot of fun little organizers like this that I roll up clothes and stuff in, and I actually have all my clothes hanging here, and then underneath I have a bunch of compartments with more clothes in there as well. So you can fit quite a bit more than I originally thought. In our society, I think your well-being and your health and your happiness and your fulfillment isn't prioritized. And it's really unfortunate because a lot of people suffer because of it. This lifestyle, it's not always easy and it's challenging at times, but the freedom and being able to see the things that we see and have the experiences that we have, like, you can't put a price on that. And I wouldn't, you know, change it for the world.
I'm really grateful for how amazing living life on the road is.
Thanks for watching this week's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you soon with another unique home tour.